What if I told you that Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, started every single day by talking to himself? Not because he was crazy, but because he understood something that 99% of people never figure out. There are 6 specific phrases that can literally rewire your brain for unshakable confidence, inner peace, and success. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what they are and how to use them starting tomorrow morning. But before we dive into these life-changing daily affirmations, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Why? Because I'm about to share ancient wisdom that billionaires pay thousands to learn from coaches, and you're getting it completely free. Plus, I drop new Stoic insights every single day that can transform your mindset in just minutes. Welcome back to Daily Stoic Insights, where we turn ancient philosophy into modern superpowers. I'm your host, and today we're exploring the 6 daily mantras that the greatest Stoics used to build mental fortress that nothing could shake. These aren't just pretty words, they're psychological weapons that will armor your mind against anxiety, doubt, and the chaos of modern life. And stick around, because at the end of this video, I'm giving you a free downloadable PDF with all 6 phrases perfectly formatted for your phone wallpaper, so you'll never forget to use them. Let's start with the foundation of Stoic power. Every morning, look yourself in the mirror and say, "I control my responses, not my circumstances." This isn't just positive thinking. This is reality. Epictetus, who went from slave to one of history's greatest philosophers, taught us that we suffer not from events themselves, but from our judgments about those events. Think about your worst day last week. I guarantee the pain didn't come from what happened. It came from a story you told yourself about what happened. Your boss criticized you? That's just sound waves hitting your eardrums. The suffering came from your interpretation. I'm not good enough. I'm going to get fired. I'm a failure. But when you start each day reminding yourself that you control your responses, something magical happens. Traffic jam? That's just cars moving slowly. You choose whether to rage or use the time for reflection. Rejection? That's just someone saying no. You choose whether to see it as failure or redirection. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his personal journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. He was literally talking to himself, programming his mind for resilience. Here's how to use this. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you do anything else, say it out loud. "I control my responses, not my circumstances." Feel the power in those words. You're not a victim of life. You're the director of your experience. The second phrase that will revolutionize your daily experience is, "This too shall pass." But here's the twist most people miss. This applies to both good times and bad times. The Stoics understood impermanence better than anyone. When you're suffering, these words bring hope. When you're celebrating, these words bring humility and presence. Seneca, who was one of the richest men in Rome, lost everything multiple times. Exiled, betrayed, stripped of wealth and power. But he always bounced back because he understood that nothing, absolutely nothing, is permanent. When you tell yourself this too shall pass during difficult times, you're not being pessimistic. You're being realistic. That anxiety you're feeling? Temporary. That heartbreak? Temporary. That financial stress? Temporary. Everything in life is a season, and seasons always change. But here's the advanced level. Use this phrase during good times too. When you get that promotion, when you fall in love, when everything's going perfectly, remind yourself this too shall pass. Not to kill your joy, but to make you present, to make you grateful, to prevent you from taking it for granted. The Stoics called this negative visualization, imagining loss to appreciate what you have. When you truly understand that everything is temporary, you stop clinging so tightly. You stop being desperate. You start flowing with life instead of fighting it. Practice this. When something bothers you today, pause and say this too shall pass. When something delights you today, pause and say this too shall pass. Watch how it changes your relationship with both pleasure and pain. The third daily declaration is perhaps the most powerful. I am enough right now as I am. This goes against everything our culture teaches us. We're constantly told we need more money, more followers, more achievements, more stuff. But the Stoics understood that this is the path to misery. Epictetus taught that happiness comes not from getting what you want, but from wanting what you have. When you start each day affirming your inherent worth, you stop living from a place of lack and start living from abundance. But let me be clear, this doesn't mean you stop growing or improving. It means you stop making your self-worth conditional on external achievements. You can pursue goals from love, not from fear, from excitement, not from desperation. Marcus Aurelius was literally the most powerful man on earth, yet he constantly reminded himself that his worth wasn't tied to his position. He wrote, "Remember that very little disturbs the wise man, for he is not disturbed by anything external, but only by his own judgments." Here's what happens when you truly believe you're enough. You stop people-pleasing. You stop overworking to prove your value. You stop comparing yourself to others. You start making decisions from your authentic self instead of your insecure self. The practical application. Every morning, look in the mirror and say, "I am enough right now as I am." Say it until you feel it. Say it especially on days when you don't believe it. Your subconscious mind is listening, and repetition creates belief. We're halfway through these 6 life-changing phrases, and I promise you, the next 3 are even more powerful. Plus, remember that free PDF I mentioned? It's coming at the end, so don't click away. The 4th daily mantra is, "I choose courage over comfort." This is where most people's lives fall apart. We're biologically wired to seek comfort and avoid discomfort. But every single thing you want in life, better relationships, more money, improved health, personal growth, lives on the other side of discomfort. The Stoics were obsessed with voluntary discomfort. Seneca would sleep on the floor, eat simple food, and wear rough clothes, not because he had to, but to build his tolerance for hardship. He understood that comfort makes you weak, while discomfort makes you strong. When you tell yourself, "I choose courage over comfort" every morning, you're programming yourself for growth. You're reminding yourself that the easy path is rarely the right path. Think about it. Every time you've grown as a person, it involved discomfort. Learning to walk was uncomfortable. Going to school was uncomfortable. Your first job was uncomfortable. Your first relationship was uncomfortable. Discomfort is the price of admission to a better life. But here's what's beautiful about this phrase. It makes discomfort a choice instead of something that happens to you. When you choose courage, you're in control. When comfort is forced on you, you're a victim. Marcus Aurelius chose to spend years on brutal military campaigns when he could have stayed in luxury in Rome. Why? Because he knew that easy times create weak people, and weak people create hard times. Start small. Choose the harder workout. Have the difficult conversation. Take the challenging project. Apply for the job that scares you. Each time you choose courage over comfort, you build your courage muscle. The 5th phrase is the ultimate stress killer. I focus on what I can control. This is the core of Stoic philosophy, and it's the secret to unshakable peace of mind. The Stoics divided everything in life into 3 categories. Things you control completely, things you don't control at all, and things you influence but don't control. You control completely. Your thoughts, your actions, your responses, your effort, your character. You don't control at all. Other people's actions, the weather, the economy, the past, the future, other people's opinions of you. You influence but don't control. Your health, your relationships, your career success, your reputation. When you start each day reminding yourself to focus only on what you control, something incredible happens. Your stress disappears. Why? Because stress comes from trying to control things outside your control. Worried about what people think of you? That's outside your control. Focus on being someone worth respecting instead. Stressed about the economy? That's outside your control. Focus on building valuable skills and saving money instead. Anxious about your health? Focus on eating well and exercising instead of worrying about diseases you might get. Epictetus put it perfectly. Some things are within our power, while others are not. This sounds simple, but it's revolutionary when you actually live it. Here's a practical exercise. Every time you feel stressed today, ask yourself, is this within my control? If yes, take action. If no, let it go. If you influence it, focus on what you can do and release attachment to the outcome. The Stoics weren't passive, they were strategically focused. They put 100% of their energy into the 10% of life they could actually control, instead of wasting energy on the 90% they couldn't. The final phrase ties everything together. Today is a gift, and I will use it wisely. The Stoics were obsessed with death, not in a morbid way, but as motivation. They practiced memento mori, remembering death, to make them present and grateful for life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." When you truly understand that your time is limited, everything changes. You stop procrastinating. You stop taking people for granted. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. Seneca said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Each day is literally a new life. You wake up with roughly 16 hours of consciousness to create something meaningful. But here's the key word in this phrase: wisely. The Stoics weren't just about living fully. They were about living virtuously. Wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Using your day wisely means aligning your actions with your values. When you start each morning saying, "Today is a gift, and I will use it wisely," you're setting an intention. You're reminding yourself that this day will never come again. The conversations you have today, the kindness you show today, the progress you make today, it all matters. This phrase also combats the biggest enemy of a meaningful life: taking time for granted. We act like we have unlimited tomorrows, but the Stoics knew better. They lived each day as if it might be their last, not with reckless abandon, but with intentional purpose. Now, I promised you something special at the end of this video, and I'm about to deliver. But first, let me show you how to put all 6 of these phrases together into a morning routine that will transform your life. Here's your daily Stoic morning routine. Step 1. The mirror moment. Stand in front of your mirror every morning and say each phrase out loud. Don't just mumble them. Say them with conviction. Your subconscious mind responds to emotion and repetition. Step 2. The visualization after each phrase. Spend 10 seconds visualizing yourself living that truth. See yourself responding calmly to stress. See yourself choosing courage. See yourself focused and present. Step 3. The daily application. Choose one phrase to focus on each day. Monday, I control my responses. Tuesday, this too shall pass. And so on. This gives you a specific lens through which to view your day. Step 4. The evening review. Before bed, ask yourself, how did I live these principles today? Where did I succeed? Where can I improve tomorrow? The Stoics weren't just philosophers, they were practitioners. They lived these principles daily, and that's why their wisdom has survived for over 2,000 years. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. Even Marcus Aurelius struggled with these concepts. That's why he wrote them down as reminders to himself. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Let me tell you what happens when you actually do this for 30 days. Week 1, you'll notice you're less reactive. Small annoyances won't derail your day. Week 2, you'll start making better decisions. When you know you're enough, you stop making choices from desperation. Week 3, people will notice you're different. There's something magnetic about someone who's centered and unshakable. Week 4, you'll realize you've been living life on hard mode. These principles make everything easier because you're working with reality instead of fighting it. I've seen people transform their marriages, their careers, their entire lives by implementing these 6 simple phrases. Not because the phrases are magic, but because they align you with truth. The Stoics understood something that modern psychology is just discovering. You become what you repeatedly tell yourself. Your self-talk creates your reality. These 6 phrases are like software updates for your mind. Alright, here's where I deliver on my promise. I've created a beautiful PDF with all 6 phrases formatted perfectly for your phone wallpaper, plus a 30-day implementation guide. The link is in the description below. It's completely free No email required. But before you go download it, I need 3 things from you. First, smash that like button. And I mean really smash it. Why? Because when you like this video, you're not just helping the algorithm. You're making a commitment to yourself. You're saying, I'm ready to change my life. That simple action creates momentum. Second, leave a comment with this exact phrase: I choose courage over comfort. When you type those words, you're making a public declaration. You're telling the universe and yourself that you're done playing small. Plus, I read every single comment and often reply with personalized advice. Third, share this video with someone who needs to hear this. We all have that friend, family member, or colleague who's struggling. Maybe they're stuck in anxiety, maybe they're lacking confidence, maybe they're just going through a tough time. Send them this video. You might literally change their life, and they'll thank you forever. Fourth, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Here's why this matters. I release new Stoic insights every single day. Short, powerful videos that can shift your mindset in minutes. When you subscribe with notifications on, you're building a daily habit of wisdom. You're choosing to feed your mind with philosophy instead of drama. Finally, come back to this video in 30 days. Leave another comment telling me how these 6 phrases change your life. I want to hear your transformation story. Your success might inspire someone else to start their journey. Look, I could have made this video 5 minutes long and just listed the 6 phrases. But I didn't, because I actually care about your transformation. These aren't just words, they're tools. And like any tool, they only work if you use them. The ancient Stoics faced plagues, wars, betrayals, and losses that would break most modern people. Yet they found peace, purpose, and power through these simple practices. You have access to the same wisdom that guided emperors and philosophers. Your life can change starting tomorrow morning. Not through some complicated system or expensive course, but through 6 simple phrases that take less than 2 minutes to say. The question isn't whether these work. They've been tested for over 2,000 years. The question is, will you use them? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Be one." Stop arguing with yourself about whether you can change. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start tomorrow morning. Stand in front of that mirror. Say these 6 phrases and begin the transformation that will make everything else in your life better. This is Daily Stoic Insights, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, you have everything you need to build an unshakable life. You just need to use it.